season 2, episode 8 of Tyler Perry's drama soap opera Beauty in Black, or like I like to call it, Booty in Black. And the episode is titled Hold the Pleasantries. So before I get into this review, you know what I gotta do. I gotta give a shout out to my lovely subscribers that be holding me down in the comment section. You know who you are. Shout outs to all of you. I do appreciate you. All you are appreciated. Now I got that out the way. Oh, make sure you check out my channel, my new channel here. I'm moving some of the singing and the music over to TySings. I'm still working on things over there. So go on over there to TySings and hit the subscribe button and support a brother and keep the channels going and growing because you are appreciated. I do appreciate you. And I do apologize. I gotta get back on track here. And I know the Oval is back. One of you left a comment saying review the Oval. I don't have BET right now. I ain't got BET. So once I figure that's out how I'm going to review that, once I hear once I figure that out, then we'll see. But I no longer have that channel. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do about that situation because I know a lot of y'all like when I review the Oval. But right now we are here to review Beauty in Black. This is episode 8 of the second season. And I believe the show's on break now. So yes, I'm all caught up. Yes, I am. So now, Rain in this thing with Glenn and Sylvie. And Glenn is Jules' son. And I thought he was dead because I mean that was a hard fall right there. And he looked like he fell and bust his head, all the blood and all that. So um Rain calls Angel, but Angel is not answering. Then she does get a hold of Alex, and Alex heard the talk to her, and he said he would, work on it. But he's over there with Officer Traxon, which is crazy. So that was interesting right there. And then we have Horace in Italy, and I'm like, okay, he's we're gonna see. I guess he's gonna get this surgery, see what happens to cure this cancer, if it can cure this cancer, whatever have you. And Kimmy is setting up for the big meeting with the Bellarys and the Bellary family. And as we know, uh, Horace told her, make them wait, stall them, drag them, piss them off. And I'm telling you, all of that was gold. All of that was gold. And I love to see the tussle here and how they was coming for Kimmy, but Kimmy was holding her own. And I really enjoyed that a lot. But before we go into that, like I said, Rain was trying to reach Angel, but Angel's kind of busy right now. First, he got his new credit card, he got his money, he don't know how to act, so he's out here shopping and getting things, and he decides to go visit Yolanda, his girlfriend. Why did I say her name like that? But he goes to visit Yolanda, and Yolanda was startled at first and glad to see him because my brothers told me you were dead. Then he was like, just admit you were worried or whatever, and then he starts pulling out money instead of explaining what's going on with him with all this money and all this. He doesn't explain anything to her, so rightfully so. Yolanda's like, "Yo, you nearly got killed. I thought you was dead. Now you coming here with this BS. Get on up out of here." And she pulls a gun out and she said, "I got a gun. I want you out of here." I don't understand why she pulled the gun on him. That was unnecessary. That was stupid, but that's what she did. And he never got to see his child. And he was like, "Can I at least see my child?" He was like, "No, get on up out of here because you're dangerous." But I understand Yolanda's point of view too. And that, I was like, I get that. That is crazy. So now Kimmy comes to the office, and this was we saw parts of this in episode 7. Kimmy come to the office, and she got this family sweating, y'all. And they come in there, and she says, I want to see my office first. I don't want to meet with y'all just yet. She said, but you know what? I want him to show me my office. Talking about Roy. And I said, boy, oh boy, this is so funny. And the tension and everything is thick. And her little showdown with Roy, I thought was very entertaining, especially like they've come full circle because we remember in season 1 how poorly he was talking to her and calling all kinds of B's and hoes. He still don't have no respect for her. And, he was saying, what he was going to do, and he threatened her. And she said, "Listen, careful. There's a lot of windows around here. You don't want to fall out of no window." She said, "What are you, drunk or whatever?" She said, "Don't give me a reason to fire you." So I'm loving how she's just lighting these people up and getting her revenge. And I thought that was funny when she told, she said, "You know, there's a lot of windows, right? I'll throw you out that window." And so she's threatening him and making threats and saying what all she's going to do. Meanwhile, Mallory is pissed off. Mallory's like, "I need to go see what's going on and what's taking so long." And she decides she going to go in there, or so she thought, and try to finesse things and handle things. And when she goes into that office, that's what that's what Kimmy did. Kimmy was looking like, "Why are you here?" And Kimmy told her, "Get the F out. Get out. Me and him are having a meeting. Get out." And she was like, "Okay." So I said, "Look, they don't know who they messing with." Meanwhile, you got the two old ones, Olivia and Norman, in the conference room, stewing and brewing and upset. And they're in there with Varney. And this was very interesting. Um, this was really interesting because Norman and what's her name? And Olivia, the way she's talking, the way she was talking to Varney and all that, right? She's talking to Varney funny because she know about Varney's little secret, and that's how we should keep it. Because you're sleeping with her son, she knows that, and so she's looking at him in total disgust. But Norman is like, "What you did to her?" That's what he's saying to Varney. He said, "What did you do to her?" Because she's a little pissed off. "What's going on? What did you do to her?" He said, "You all let me guess. She tried to offer you something and you ain't tapped that ass." That's what he said to her. And I'm like, "Boy, you're off, Norman. You really don't know." And he was like, "You should have just tapped that because now she gonna take it out on you." But he doesn't know that this whole time Varney's been sleeping with Charles, and Charles comes in the office, and then of course Norman makes some homophobic remarks. It was just crazy, and that was crazy, and they go back to the back and forth between Roy and Kimmy. And I like what Kimmy said to him. Kimmy said to him, "You're going to regret the day that you ever messed with me and what you ever did to me." And I was like, she was handling them very well. She was handling them very well. And then now they're like, "This is taking too long." Because again, they think they're better than her because they have money. They think they're so classy. They're not. So now Miss Olivia thinks she gonna come there. Mallory failed to do so. Mallory felt that didn't work. She told Mallory, "Get the F up out of here." And now here come Olivia, and Kimmy was like, "I'm having a meeting with Roy right now." And then Olivia was like, "Roy, leave." She said, "I'm having a meeting with Roy." And they're going back and forth. So then Roy steps to the side, whatever. And then she's saying what all she want to say. Little girl, this, and that, all this intimidating stuff. Well, she thought it was intimidating. And then Kimmy smiles and says, "Ah, your ex-husband told me all about you. Y'all are all behaving just like I thought you would be. Very predictable." But I'm loving this because it is killing them that this little stripper girl then came in there and turned their little rich world upside down and is laying them out, and they cannot take it. They hate it. They can't take it. And I really enjoyed it. She told them, "Y'all are so predictable and ridiculous." Then we seen Charles, because he got them bodies in his house still, trying to go to Jules and tell Jules what happened. Then he changed his mind. He's like, "I'm not gonna tell Jules." He decided not to tell Jules. And I thought that was a smart move, because that was really a smart move not to do that. But here's what Charles pissed me off. "You have the nerve to be mad with Varney. I needed you and you didn't help me, and this, that, and the third." And they're all pissed off about it. And I'm like, the way you be acting towards Varney now, you mad that he didn't answer your calls? Look how you been acting stupid. And you the one bringing hoes to your house like that. Strangers. complete idiot. I'm telling you, something is wrong with them. They're all so stupid. So now, my favorite was the conference meeting itself. Now, at first, Kimmy's in there where she's on the phone, and what's the name? Horace can hear the meeting, whatever. So she decides to take the phone off and hang up on him and handle this on her own. And at first, in the beginning, Mallory's trying to show her a presentation. She said, "Look, cut the BS. Let's get down to the financials." And she says, "Okay, what are these two offshore companies? Who do they belong to?" And she asks Olivia, "Do you know?" He says, "Norman, do you know?" And they both play like they don't know. And she's like, "I know what they are." She knows what they are. She didn't say anything. She said, "But do you know?" Because apparently they have some offshore accounts, which makes me say some offshore, I'm sorry, shell companies where they're taking money, whatever. So then I'm a little confused here because Norman said that Olivia was having money trouble and owing money. But if she got this little secret shell company somewhere, shouldn't money still be pouring in there? I don't know. That's what I'm just asking that question. But I like the way Kimmy broke them down and told them, y'all have been dragging this company into the ground. This here plan y'all got is outdated. And that pissed Mallory off because that was Mallory. She said, "This is outdated. I don't know what this plan. Y'all need to get an online presence." Y'all ain't got an online presence? What kind? What is it? They don't have no online presence. So she said, "We need to grow that. We need to reach out to these companies, this, that, and the third." And she said another thing: no more giving to this funeral home. That's done. We're not giving to this company. And she's like, "We're cutting out. That's not what we're doing anymore. We're not doing that. We're not giving to this place. We're not giving to that place." And they're like, but she said, "No, that's bleeding money. And we're gonna start dealing with China and we get a different percentage." She came in there on her A game and what would make the company earn more money. What could they do but be quiet and shut up? Because it's like she really came in there telling them, "Listen, I got a better plan. This is what's going to happen. This is what we're doing." And that's that. And I was like, I like that. I really like that so much. And they were, of course, fuming, fuming, fuming. And of course, they all want to speak to Varney, which was hilarious. And Mallory got to speak with him first, whatever. He was like, whatever. And he told her, said, "Listen," she was asking him about what was going on. And, she's like, still getting in his business, trying to worry about the thing with him and Charles. And that was entertaining. But another thing that was very entertaining about this episode was the showdown between Jules and Kimmy. And Jules slapped the earth, wind, and fire out of him 3 times. I mean, did I say that right? Kimmy slapped the earth, wind, and fire out of Jules 3 times. Because I think I said it wrong. And he was like, "All right." She was like, "Miss Bellery." And she pretty much threatened him. And he was saying that he has the whole family by the balls and don't mess with him, this, that, and the third. And she said, "Let me tell you," because he's telling her basically, he said, "Listen, let me tell you something, little street hoe. Enjoy this office and play tough, but you don't have no power because I got all the Bellerys by the balls. I got dirt on all of them, including Norman." And I'm saying to myself, including Horace. And I'm like, whatever, and I'll take you down, blah, blah, blah. This is what I love that Kimmy said. Kimmy said to me, she said, "Let me tell you something. I don't care about none of this. And I'm the type of person, I'll burn the whole place down just to get to the person I want. I don't care about none of this. This whole damn thing could crumble." But I jumped some. Let me go back to that meeting. That meeting I liked where she says she wants to talk to the cancer patients. And she was like, and then they were like, "Well, you're going to need legal representation to talk to these people that have this lawsuit against us." She said, "Let me speak to them." She said, "Well, Varney, aren't you my legal rep? You be there, you be present." I like that. I liked how she was handling that and taking care of business because she said, "That's how we're going to do that." So we're going to cut costs here and we're going to speak to them about this here lawsuit, this, that, and the third. And Olivia and Norman ain't like that because they're like, "Okay, we don't like this. We don't want her having Varney looking to figure out where these two accounts are coming from, these two companies that are shell companies." And they kind of pretty much threatened him because Olivia was like, "He ain't gonna say nothing because I got something on him," talking about him being gay. But come on, he should just come on out the closet and that'll set himself free. But he's scared of his whole family and they all homophobic and all that. So I get it. But yeah, that scene with Kimmy and Jules, I loved it. I loved how she was not backing down from him. And matter of fact, she even called his family, called his wife, and said, "Yeah, we're gonna set up dinner. This is Miss Bellamy having dinner with his wife and whatever, and mentioning his child." I said, "This is crazy." And then he's like, "You don't threaten my family." She like, "What? Y'all kidnapped?" I was like, the nerve of these people. She was like, "Y'all took my sister. Y'all kidnapped." Oh, that wasn't me. That was by. She said, "Listen." She don't care. It's war. It's on Negro, and that's that. So I loved all of that. I thought that was entertaining. And then they take us back down to Charles and his house, and uh, you hear all this noise. Varney comes over there, and he comes in the room, and he sees Charles got the chainsaw. He is sawing these bodies, his blood. I'm like, wasn't that a better way? He's like, I can't get no felony. And then they both run out of the room where there's blood and everything. And then Varney runs and throws up, and they're having this conversation. And Varney's like, I can't help you with this. I can't be a part of this foolishness. And he was like, you didn't help me. I told you I needed help. He's like, I can't help with you with this. I can't be a part of this foolishness. I was like, this is crazy. And then these people with masks on, I thought this was more robbers or whatever, but they were like, freeze the police. And that's how the episode ended. I did not like how the episode ended. I was like, that this is the cliffhanger we on, but that's what they did. So now we have to wait because that was the last episode until the till the season two returns. They always take a break. So now we gotta wait to see what's going on and how they're gonna handle all these things. How they're gonna handle this whole thing with Sylvie and Glenn and all that stuff. How are we gonna handle these what happens with Varney and Charles and these bodies? So yeah, it was still entertaining. So far, I'm loving season two, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. So that's all I got. Enough of my rambling. Tell me your thoughts. What are you thinking so far of this Beauty and Black season two? I thought it's been entertaining. It's been very entertaining. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen next. So now we gotta wait. I gotta wait like everybody else. I'm all caught up. I gotta wait like everybody else to see what's going to happen in with the rest of the season, with the remaining of the season. I don't know when it's coming back. Y'all tell me when it's coming back. But that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I